Hello! Hi,
Dude,
everyone! So, right now we're just waiting out a couple
hi.
extra peeps, but figure, just discuss our silly nonsense behind the scenes. So, you burped. Oh, you.
Oh, you. Oh, we can heart stream on stream. Oh no. Yeah, we can.
Uh,
Look at those hearts.
the hearts? Wait, what do you mean
Yeah,
hearts?
you see them? Like on the stream. Do you see them?
No. No, I don't.
No. Hang on.
Uh, I don't see any hearts on the stream, no.
Oh
No, yeah, nothing I can see, but what I can tell you is,
wow.
oh, okay. Oh,
Yeah,
like in the chat. Oh no, I did
yeah.
not see that. Oh, that's kind of cool. Huh. Maguma says we have officially hit the 100 mark again. Yeah, no, like usually, yeah, for the title of this one, like I had an issue. I think because YouTube is registering the hash, like the pound key, as like a hashtag. It's like now it wouldn't allow me to easily change 100 to 101 for whatever reason. So I was like, you know what? Fudge it. I'm just gonna get rid of it. So that way in the future I could just edit to 102, 103. So yeah, TDBCC 100 marks the end of the hashtag 100 era. We now begin without it because fuck you, YouTube. So yeah, I know. It's like, ah, great. And then I had to update my Steam key, and I was like, oh, this is fantastic. Bruh. But,
Bruh.
so, it happens though. It happens. But yeah, no. Uh, Someone else has joined. Oh wait, no. I think that's just Birdman still existing in the completely wrong chat.
Fucking Birdman.
I just want to let this play out and just see it's like before we like if it actually once we actually get going, I'll boot him up in here. But I just want to see how long it takes for him on his own to realize, oh hey, we're starting.
GVR, do you see Birdman?
Yes.
That's the fucking British man. This man, he delayed the KUCC, and he's in the wrong chat.
I mean, to be fair, I think like in our Discord server, we had moved the podcast to the content creation section, whereas it would normally be under the KDBC section. I don't know who did that, but I was like, I wasn't gonna bother with it. Bacon.
Hello. I was writing a bit.
Right, nice.
I got how many words did I get? How many? 400 words.
We're live.
I mean, epic, but
yeah.
I got work done. So
hell yeah, let's go.
Nice.
You're live, but I don't see no live stream link. Kaiju X.
Oh right, I forgot about that.
Oh yeah.
Let me,
oh yeah, the thing for people to see.
Channel.
Right? The thing vital for people to see.
I was about to send it.
Oh. I got it. I clearly got it.
You tapped me.
Did you?
Do I?
Kaiju X just gets the wrong one.
Oh gosh. That'd be hilarious. It'd be funnier if it was the right link, but it was still 100. And I was like, wait, didn't we do 100 last time? I'm also kind of shocked. I thought there'd be more KDBCEs to cover, but lo and behold, there's literally, I think, one came out recently before this, and then the last time we did it was 101, which I believe, if I am not mistaken, you guys correct me on this, I think we said we were going to go back over match 101, if I remember right.
I thought we said that the time before last, and then we went over it last time.
Okay, yeah, no, it's been a bit. I'm actually kind of surprised.
No, we've gone over 101. We've gone over 101.
Okay, properly? All right, awesome. All right, then that's one less thing to worry about then. Then congratulations, I've actually read a KDBCE then.
Wow.
Were you farting there?
No, it's grunting.
Bro,
Existence requires effort.
GVR, how do you feel about Kaiju fans now that we are live?
I hate them all.
What is your opinion on camera fans?
This is stupid. Everyone's stupid. I hate humanity.
Right as Alex joins.
Hooray!
Satan.
Oh my god. Holy crap. It's been a while. It has. Yeah, I know it's been a couple months, and not that we meant to not to, but it's jeez. No, we just been busy. Like either preoccupied with other things or just busy with everything else. So yeah, just been a while, but hey, it feels nice to be back to doing at least one of these and at a decent time for most of us, so. Alright, so sounds like we're going to be starting, so let me get Birdman out of that other section there. There you go. Alright, come on, you.
Silly British.
Silly British
How do I
man.
move? Okay, yeah, move to... There we go.
Hi, Gray Shot.
Greetings.
Hello, Grayshaw.
Hi, Birdman.
Hey, doing well, doing well. Hope all is going well. Hope all are doing well as well.
Yes. Well, nevertheless, though, Grayshot jump scare, says Riptide. But yeah, no, oh god, this is a crowd. Alright. But yeah, no, that's kind of more like it.
It's what happens when you don't host it suddenly on a Monday.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad I pushed it back though, because I kind of wasn't fully feeling it at the time. But yeah, no, now it just feels so much nicer. I got dinner eaten, dishes taken care of within the same hour, so that was nice. But nevertheless, though, I think now we definitely got more than enough people this time around. So let's formally begin. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of KDBCC. I am your host, Kaiju X, and with me today, I have Godzilla Fan 8889, Grayshot 151, GVR, Harold, known as Alex, Joe Mama, more crossovers, the British person, and the Lore Master, Bacon. Truly, Bacon is the king of lore mastering. Anyway. But nevertheless, though, today we will be going over a slew of matches, the other half of the event month that we covered last time, and a couple new matches and a KWCE. So, nevertheless, though, we will begin this session with the third match of the event month we had recently, match 413, Godzilla Jr. and Ebera versus Titanosaurus and Crystalak, written by Connor Clennell and banner by Matthew, I could never pronounce that last name. And
Matthew Ing.
Ing? Okay, Ing?
JVR sounds depressed.
I'm not in like a peppy mood.
I'm sorry. Give you a
Damn.
hug. I'd give you a hug.
No, get away from me.
He currently
Bruh.
sounds like he's trapped in a void. Like he is just in a dark void floating.
Existential dread.
That's Florida, yeah.
GVR sounds like he's one of the hostages in Saw.
When compared to the fandom, yeah, I think he is. Anyway. Nevertheless, though, 413. And I think we'll probably just go from top to bottom. Godzilla Fan, I imagine, unless you want to speak your word.
He's typing.
Okay, he's typing. All right, Grayshot, what'd you think of it?
I'll be honest. I don't have too much to say. I think I read this. I honestly don't remember too much about it. Yeah. I if I did read it, I don't remember it. I don't think I did though.
Okay.
I think I
Bruh.
missed this one.
Dang. Rip. All right, GBR then. What'd you think of it?
But remember reading this one very long time ago on a DeviantArt page. Probably like it feels like a decade, but probably was only a few years. This one's good. Always down for matches that take after Godzilla Unleashed. And this one features a few monsters that are underused, in my opinion, in the KWC, so it's nice to see all of them get a chance to shine, get a good fight in. Banner looks real good as well.
It's gonna say, I think this match is from when I think this match was in our like queue for a while.
Yeah, I
Remember
Oh,
the name?
definitely.
Oh yeah, no, this was a slightly older one. I'm pretty sure this was like in, like kind of in your stock before I took over. So, or me and GVR took over. So, yeah, no, this one's a bit of an oldie, but
Yeah, I liked it. It's a good match.
Wow, 7 years ago. That's older than the kids from Gamma Rebirth.
gosh, I feel old. Anyway, Alex, what'd you think of it?
I don't remember much because I read it like 80 years ago.
Oh gosh.
I think I liked it well enough.
Oh, I guess you liked it enough to pass it at least.
A cool banner by Silly Ganyu. That's pretty cool.
Oh yeah.
Joe, I assume you have the same thoughts as I do.
Huh? What?
I assume you have the same thoughts as I do.
Yeah.
Based.
I see this is the episode where no one knows what's happening.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, no, like I remember. Okay, this one did there's obviously the DeviantArt version that Birdman posted a good while back. One I never read myself, but when I did get around to this, I did inquire. Like at the time, I was like, it was my picky brain being a picky brain. I was like, I was feeling like specific with a certain element of the match. Looking back at it now, I'm kind of like, especially after talking with GBR, sort of that hypothetical what if it was just like, oh, and I thought about it, and I was thinking about it, and I knew I had the option to change it back if I wanted to. But I like by the time the match rolled along, I was like, oh well, I'll just leave it as it is. Like it was ultimately just more the ending to better justify Ebera's place as a winner, and that because I usually I could understand the idea that it's like, oh, one member gets KO'd, not explicitly dead, just kind of KO'd. The other member kind of hard carries for the rest of it, and the other one comes back, which was more or less how it played out in the original. It's still kind of here as well, but it wasn't like a hard carry for the final battle. It was sort of like Ebera tags in somewhere in the middle, gets knocked out, Junior finishes. Which I like. Again, that could be just me being a little picky, but that is the way. Like I do feel like that is a more justified winner position for a character. I don't know. I just haven't been like I am trying to keep in mind maybe for future references. Like if someone has the winner is this, then I'll try and keep to that. But I do just have a very specific standard to meet when it comes to that, and that's kind of just the big thing that stuck out to me with the original. So I did request that change. Birdman thankfully followed through with those changes, and yeah, no, I still really enjoyed the match. Again, Godzilla Unleashed setting is always a plus. I do like the fact that it's just this is clearly like a, I guess sort of like a, the Empire rules sort of thing. Space Godzilla's basically conquered Earth more or less. The situation is not good, and now it's kind of the rise. It's the classic rise of the underdog / rebellion story taking place. But I don't mind it. It is sort of it's decently detailed. Everything just kind of falls into place and makes sense, and I do like the usage of again, with Godzilla Unleashed elements, it is nice to see critical mass back. And I know this one was a bit on the older side, so part of me kind of was hoping for more power surges, but obviously we're phasing through some of the older stuff, so that's naturally going to be critical mass before we can venture into the territory of power surges. So
Will it get a squeakquel?
Right, or for any kind of sequel, which this naturally leaves any kind of open-endedness to a sequel very naturally. It's just because it's it's the start of the rebellion, and I do like the outcome, letting both heroes prevail in their own way. I actually do like that. It is it just plays nicely to the bleakness of the setting. So it's like, yeah, no, I have like no issues there. So it was just simply the circumstances around Ebera's victory that I just found a little, just a little off to me. But at the same time, though, there are instances where I should think that it's like, is this really the right call to make? And if you want to read the original, I do believe it's still on Birdman's Deviant art. So, like, you know, if you kind of decide whether or not I made the right choice on that front or not. I'm all ears. Or all eyes in this case, if I can only read. Nevertheless, though, yeah, no, I do like it, though. It is still, like, it did kind of keep my attention going from the start to the end. And I probably have to say that, like, yeah, no, I probably have to give it to the bout with Junior and Crystalak. When Junior goes critical mass and the fight goes from there is, like, you know, the part that kind of sticks out to my mind personally. So I do like the fact that it's like Ebera does get action. And while, you know, he gets a little more action during that final bout, obviously thanks to yours truly, but friggin', I still like the fact that Ebera does get some nice beats in. I do like that. But yeah, no, really fun, solid, enjoyable match, and yeah, no, Ganyu did a great banner. No, friggin' knocked that, like, yeah, no, very solid banner, and I'm looking forward for more banners from Ganyu. So, hell yeah. Let's see. Oh, where'd Bacon go?
He said he's going to be back in a bit.
Okay.
I'll let him know when it's Redman versus Reddit.
Okay.
Oh yeah, by the way, those two KWCEs we need to go over. I was very stupid and labeled 103 as 102.
Oh, wait, there are two? What? There's another one?
Yeah, there's two 102 because it's Redman versus Raditz and then Ghidorah versus.
No!
Yeah, I'm an idiot. Yeah.
No! Bruh! This is such a bruh. Oh.
Joe, I need to make sure you didn't read those, right?
What?
You didn't read those, right?
The KBCs?
Yeah.
No.
He can't read at all. I'm not convinced of it.
I'm sure about that. Anyway. But yeah, no. Okay.
GVR, I'm gonna blow your fucking mind in a bit.
Oh, which match did you read?
You'll find out.
Yeah, it's a surprise.
Well, these nuts. Anyway.
As he reads a match right now.
She.
Oh, sorry, she.
What's for you? I know, right? 26. Dang, yep. No, that shit lasts a while.
The only surprise will be when I throw myself out a window.
All right. But yeah, no. I'll read Birdman's comments since Bacon's not here at the moment. Nevertheless, Birdman says this match was written with the specific intent of giving the spotlight to combatants who, at the time of its conception, had very little matches and thus interest in them. I think at the time we had just approved the use of critical mass in the KWC when I was halfway through, so there have been matches that used the concept before this one. It might technically be the first one to have it written, which, yeah, no, I get that. You may have noticed the differences between this version and the Deviant Art one. I was not happy with the original ending since it felt very generic and decided to change things that, one, Ebera could get a rare W, B, it left a better window for open potential sequels. Oh, okay. So the DeviantArt version must have, like, ended differently then. Because, yeah, no, because I remember that I was like, yeah, Ebera still lived in the version I had read over before I had inquired him to get a little more action in the middle. So it's like, yeah, no, it sounds like Ebera just straight out died in the original, which I'm kind of glad. Giving Ebera, like, a rare W, that is a treat. GVR, do you want to read the comments in Discord real quick?
Sure. Little Fan 889 says, here's my review of it. I'll also add that I personally like Space Godzill's portrayal as this mastermind looking for a challenge at the end. Yeah, it was cool.
Everybody has a tiny bit of trivia.
Moore has a tiny bit of trivia.
We'll see what he has in a second. I'll read over the comments in the live stream. See where we're at. For whatever reason, the live feed is delayed by a lot. Don't understand why. Oh well. Let's see. Baguma says, okay, beginning the next big arc. I think this is overall pretty solid. I'm guessing Titanosaurus is still alive. I don't recall a line of text saying he was dead. Maybe he'll reappear. That's it. Bruh.
Brandon says originally it wasn't Naranga and Jiris that were supposed to appear at the end. It was actually De and a thing and ellipses. Sorry, was I saying something? He's doing a bit. I don't know what it is.
I don't know what it is either. Devil? I don't know.
He's being silly.
He's being a silly British person. You are right, Alex.
British are silly people.
They are.
Probably not.
That's silly. Oh, these nuts.
Oh!
Why did your voice get so nasally for that?
My nose is stuffy.
Oh, bro.
Deanzilla.
Team Zilla. Oh, but yeah. Did anyone else leave their... let's see, yeah, you're a Godzilla fan. Did anyone else...
No.
Okay, no. Wow. I guess that kind of,
I give this 3 crumpets out of 5.
Alright, 3 crumpets out of 5. That's... Out of 5 what? Crumpets or something else?
Crumpets.
Okay.
Tea.
Alright. Understandable. Have a nice day. But yeah, okay, I'm so glad this they blasted. I still can't believe they're 2 match 102s now, bruh.
Yeah, Alex or Joe, could one of you please use your admin powers to fix that?
No.
Yeah.
Let's fucking go.
Is the Red Man one's 103, right?
No, the 103 is Elargador versus Maruka Badubadi.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sorry. Can you run that by us just one more time?
Yeah, no, I'm not saying that name. Maruka Buka Rappa. That's the only time you're going to hear me say that. Who named that thing?
Sorry.
The better
Sorry,
question
did you-
is who translated it?
Maruka. That's like a shit post.
All right. Done.
Aller Ghidorah versus Mushroom Man.
Yes.
Now, what do you say, GPR?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Saying that name 3 times fast is like impossible. You have to be a linguist to do that. But
Anyone can say GPR.
No.
not GPR.
I meant Baruka. Rappa the Rapper.
I know what you're talking about.
I literally just looked that up how to pronounce it because I was like, is there like a game that's kind of like that? Sounds like it.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, no, I think with that, I think we're all ready for match 415, if I am not mistaken. So, I think we'll just move over to that. Welcome, everyone, to match 414, Baggin versus Godzilla Legendary, Gamera Heisei and Grand King Ghidorah. Written by Nicholas A. Brand and banner from Landon Soto. So,
I'll be right back. I'll text my thoughts on this one.
okay, gotcha. Titanosaurus found dead in Miami. But yeah, here we are at the most recent, or not most recent. Yeah, this is the finale to the video game theme month that we had rolling along. So, and yeah, no, we'll just, GVR is going to text us thoughts. So, and yeah, G-Fan is going to text us thoughts too, but, Gray Shot, did you read this one?
I was muted. Yes, I did. Grand King Ghidorah, I did not expect to pull the win, but honestly, this was a fun match. The only downside I thought was how it kept switching between the different perspectives. I thought there could have been a nicer flow to it all. But for a first, is this the first match for Nicholas?
I think this is the first match from Nicholas Brand. Yeah.
Okay. I was gonna say I don't remember the writer, but I thought they did a good I thought they did it. I thought they did a fun job. I think this is like a. If you were to go with like some of the original classic KWCs, I think this is pretty much like in that vein.
Yeah, no, I think there are definitely. Yeah, I really almost said Nicolas Cage because Nicholas A. Brand, and it's like Nicholas H. Cage. I hope you see the logic.
Yes, he is the winner of the other Mortal Kombat games.
Yeah, for you to. Yeah, no, it does. There are times where I felt like the perspective switching, like, does like. I feel like there are some moments that pace out just fine in my opinion, but there are absolutely some moments like particularly closer to the end where I felt like there's literally like a paragraph, a big chunky paragraph for one perspective before switching back that felt maybe a little off to me, but it didn't like derail the experience as a whole, but it was kind of there. But yeah, no, but yeah, freaking, yeah, no, did you have any additional thoughts with it, or was that kind of, like, more to say?
That honestly, just I think a more solid introduction than what has come in the past for other writers. So I think once I think once Nick finds his style and kind of smooths it out, I think he'll be a writer contend with. I think the best writer that has just jumped on KWC and people were just like, whoa, what, this is new. I think it's still Jack Jordan with his Godzilla versus Megalon.
Yeah, no, definitely Jack. Yeah, he's fantastic. Holy more. Hard to pass up Jack. I think he was like the strongest writer. But Nick is still a really promising one. So, yeah, no. Nevertheless, Alex, what'd you think of it? Okay, and then out for it. All right. I know Joe didn't read this one, so I guess that leaves it to me. No, I really enjoyed the match. Like bag and finale went real well. Everyone's given the proper due, and everyone felt appropriate for the part. I feel like, I do like maybe Gamera was a bit of a. I don't know, Gamera still served his part strongly enough, but I still feel like he was a bit of a third wheel, maybe. But still, it's still. I still enjoyed it all around. It was still a really good, really fun to romp. Well described. And frigging, yeah, no, I just like the way it's sort of set up too. What's sort of like Baggin is like this weird ancient sort of. I'm always a sucker for like the sort of like quotes, some kind of like ancient, mythic, and vague quote. And it's sort of like it's a fun, kind of like a fun sort of like extension to other kinds of like writings and cultures and whatnot too. So it's like, oh hell yeah, that's awesome. I'm always a sucker for that. But yeah, no, it's just, really, really enjoyed it. And Banner, friggin' ditto, killed it. It was rocking it. Whew. That's it.
Oh, yeah.
I do feel like the actual match itself, if I am not mistaken, I think was trying to use the Hunchback design B baggin. Because that one's like explicitly sort of like a white baggin. And I was like, I think it might have been that Hunchback one. But unfortunately, we don't have like the 3D assets for that, so it's like kind of had to play the ball. So far, it doesn't seem like there's too big of an issue there. But nevertheless, though, yeah, no, I think that was, yeah, no, really enjoyed it. So. Yeah, no, it's like, yeah, even, and again, I do kind of agree with you. That's like, there were a couple of hiccups when it came to like the perspective swapping. Sometimes it's like, when you use perspective swap, it is good to treat it less, how should I put this? I think it's better not to treat it as cinematically, where you can kind of convey all that information sort of like a visual for a brief second, as opposed to more of a, like, I think just something more detailed, I feel. Or maybe even just more spaced out in general.
Usually, I think you would say that like it should have a smooth transition from one to the next.
Yeah.
Like you feel it's like a car. If you're driving down like and you keep stopping,
Mhm.
you feel it more than, if you're just constantly moving, even if just crawl. Like it that's how I felt this was. It was we're starting this like, and we veered again, and we're on this long coastal highway, and now we just flew off the highway, taking some turns.
Yeah.
We flew through a Dairy Queen. Okay.
Yeah, no, I got you. That does feel, that feels right. That feels sensible. Yeah, no, I think that was probably the most awkward time I may have had with it. But beyond that, though, it's a great introduction, though, nonetheless, and an interesting way to cap off the finale to the video game month. So I do like that. Yeah, no. Second, just trying to make sure that's all nice and forwarded, and let's see. So I'm gonna go through the comments here real quick. Bacon says, sick banner, though he didn't read it. Life be like that. GVR says, this one is really dope. I enjoyed this a lot. Very much love how Baggin was characterized and how everyone else was as well. Sick action, dope sequences for sure. Banner goes hard. Hell yeah. Godzilla fan 89 says, my thoughts on this one. It's pretty damn awesome. A little more gory than usual, but I think it's set up well enough that it doesn't become too edgy. The usage of all Kaiju's powers is also really good. I also love Grand just barely edging out and taking a win. Heck yeah. Key DBC writers try to go bagging without the words Black Heart Challenge. It's very hard. But yeah, no. Ditto actually comes in. It comes in to say, for the banner, Grand King Ghidorah was pretty much an afterthought. Godzilla, Bag, and Gamera were my main focus. Admittedly, GKG's head's placement could have been better. I could understand that, but at the same time, it's just like, they do take up a lot of room, admittedly. So it's like, it would have been not impossible to stick Grand King Ghidorah in there. He could have been like somewhere between this, like above Gamera, maybe. But even then, it's like, yeah. Oh well. Them's the circumstances sometimes. Yeah, no. And I'm gonna read the comments real quick. Okay, I don't know. Okay, I think Reptile's referring to the previous match. Maguma says, I don't remember much about this one. Oh, bruh. Oh, well. Can't be helped. What do you do? Nevertheless, though, GPR sent me the rest of his thoughts, and I really don't think we have too much else. Yeah, no, this was the finale to the video game month, and it's kind of it. So, yeah, no, I think with that said, let's on a roll, click. From match 414 to the next match in the lineup, 415, Godzilla Showa versus Anguirus, now Universal. Well, for all intents and purposes, still Showa Anguirus, but you get the idea.
Shanguris.
Yeah, Godzilla Showa versus Anguirus Universal, written by Harley Jameson, banner by Andrew Sudomersky, and this one comes with a narration from Alicia Ingram.
Wink.
Yeah, no, wink. Yeah, bringing I think we'll just go from the top. Unless you want to go for the narration bit afterward, maybe, Gray Shot?
Yeah, I'll do the narration at the end.
Okay, at the end. Okay. Alex, what'd you think of it?
Well, I thought this is the best of the worst tonight. No. This is actually a really good match. Yeah, I think this is a really good match. I remember Harley's actually, I think it was like a few weeks before it got posted, like, because I don't think she actually sent it in for verification, but read it in. God dang, it is really good.
Hey.
The very first monster Showa Godzilla fights is the one who puts him down, and not the reason you think it, like, at first. It's like a one last wish sort of thing, like the will. And I also love how all the other monsters on Monster Island are, like, spectating, like, giving their final goodbyes. Yeah, really good job, Harley. This is really good, really effective. Like, Anguirus and Godzilla were done really well. Even Manila, who's all grown up, gets a few like moments in there. Yeah, I think this is like a really good contender for best of the year. Oh, and Stinky Varen's in the banner, but not Gorsaurus.
Well,
Bruh.
well,
Trolled.
it's because Veron's
Gor-
bitching.
Gorosaurus died. Gorosaurus died of an overdose.
No, he had to get his ankles repaired after defeating King Ghidorah, don't you know?
Joe, are you saying he died of an overdose of AIDS?
Yeah. That is AIDS
Damn.
medication. He got super AIDS.
He got super duper AIDS.
Oh, good. Yeah, figured out. But yeah, no, did you have anything?
All right, little Joe, what'd you have to say?
Well, I read this match.
Yay!
What?
Give this man a high five.
Woman.
Woman.
Sorry.
Joe. Who are you and what have you done with my friend? You are a body snatcher. You have read a match?
I read a match.
She actually
Base
did.
sister.
Oh, yeah.
What are your thoughts, little Joe?
So, I thought this match was okay.
Whoa.
Now I really like it. This was a very good match. I love the ending. I love how it starts and ends. It's very somber. It has this nice atmosphere that where Godzilla knows that he is coming to an end, and like everyone on the island also knows, and it's just very well written how Godzilla dies, how the fight is, and just how Godzilla and Anguirus are both characterized. Like I think this could even like this could just be like a short story, not even connected to a KWC match, and it would really work. It would also work. And that banner is really very good.
Oh.
And I influenced it a little.
Mhm.
I got Kaiju X to move Rodan up a little more.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, because I've already positioned a little differently. Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah, I like how it was originally. Rodan kind of blocked Farron a little.
Yeah, something like that.
It was so powerful she could influence Kaiju X to move.
Yeah. That's right.
Yeah, this is a very very great match.
Yay.
I'm happy I read it.
Yeah. Let's go. Yeah, no, freaking, yeah, no, I'll go over the banner maybe, a little bit, but, yeah, no, the match itself, though, it's short, it is short, but I think that kind of makes it getting to the, it doesn't necessarily, has to dwell on the super long setup to get to the payoff, and I think it kind of works really well here. It's short, brisk, but kind of emotionally gut wrenching. It is a very it couldn't have been could have been a more appropriate ending for this. And I'm actually quite surprised at the amount of people that have well, okay, part of me is surprised, part of me isn't. it's like I'm glad everyone has taken well to the story. That makes me more than happy beyond all else. I'm also not surprised because again, it is Godzilla and Anguirus. Those are two super recognized names. This, like, it is. You're gonna get some attention with this one. Like, oh, what's the situation here? And I think, like, not to toot my own horn, but I think even the banner kind of captures. You get a rough idea without knowing the exact idea of what the like match is going to be about.
Yeah, but it has Stinky on it with Varen.
It doesn't even have Gore Source to counteract the SMH my head Kaiju X. How could you?
Look what happened.
I mean, at least it's small. It's not that noticeable.
Yeah, it is.
That's what she said.
It's as noticeable
Holy
as
shit.
it's as noticeable
I mean, it
as
is.
Harley getting rid of Godzilla's heroin addiction in the smash that she was supposed to do. Keep that aspect. It actually explains why he was dying, his heroin addiction.
Oh,
Remember, kids, don't do drugs.
oh.
Oh, that's so fun. Then do all of them.
You either do
We
all
do
of them or
be
you
pretty
don't.
based.
There is no middle. There is no using drugs to survive. You just do all of them. Every last one of them.
Yes.
But yeah, no. Yeah, no. Really enjoyed the match though. It did. Yeah, no. It did kind of get to me the first time I read this one over. It was just. It felt like a very appropriate send off to Godzilla, and was like. Yeah, no. There was just something about it that really resonated. And I know Harley, didn't necessarily feel that it didn't have the most confidence with this one. But yeah, no, once it went up, it was just like, holy crap. I was like, yeah, no, the response to this one was freaking glorious, and I could not be happier. So it's like I knew for a fact that the moment I got this match, and like by that point, the narrator Alicia Ingram, which I know I'll let Greyshot kind of like go into more detail with that in a bit. I do very explicitly remember before remembering the truth of Alicia, but even then, it was still like that narration still fit this really well, and I'm glad I made that call because it was like, we got one for you right away. I knew this one was going to be fitting to the narrator in question. So yeah, no, that. But yeah, no, just really, really solid match. Yeah, no, even as like a short story at the end of Godzilla, it is still like emotionally effective. Just good stuff, great stuff. Oh, but yeah, no, that's more. I mean, yeah, okay, I guess I'll go into the banner a little. Like a lot of the monsters that do appear in here appear in the match, and that was sort of the basis of that logic. It was fun to construct the banner and sort of like go for like a more sunset atmosphere, which I feel really happy with. It was a little tricky at first. Some of the arrangement, and again, Joe did give input on like I was a little reluctant to move Ruban, but I was like, because again, the image I had used cuts off the wing at a certain point, like the leftmost wing. So it's like I couldn't quite place him like to a specific area, so I had to like try and like work it to the best of my ability. But yeah, no, I still really enjoy sort of like the sunset atmosphere that this one, that the actual banner presents, and likewise too, the mental image of Grown Up Junior, like all of my personal headcanon, and this is strictly headcanon, not factual at all. It was like if Minya did grow up, he would look like 70s Godzilla, or like from Megalon to Terror Mechagodzilla, that one. So it was like, so I always kind of want to go for that. And yeah, even the banner has like obviously visual clues if you look closely. Like you'll notice like Godzilla's atomic breath, or at least his spine's glowing, is like white and sort of faded. You see the blood coming down his mouth. It's like what it's about is all very much presented in the banner, but you really kind of have to look for it to make completely sure, like to be sure that it's like, oh, is this what it's going to be about? Oh crap! You read it, it's like, oh, this is what it's going to be about. And yeah, no, apparently got a lot of people. So I'm like, I feel incredibly happy about that. Harley should be too. She should be really proud. So, cheers to that. Bacon, what'd you think of the match?
Good. It is a masterpiece, Kaiju X. Complete, comprehensive. Yeah, I really enjoyed this one. Really dug just this final duel between the first Kaiju fight in the franchise. Well, I liked how they were characterized. I liked the context. No, solid action, good emotional story, good characterization. It was really good. I enjoyed it. I also want to say with the banner, really liked that you had Godzilla be like his villainous era, and then Manila be like the more heroic design.
Yeah, that one. I think I got input from Harley on that one. It's a little bit, but like I think I just kind of like it was just a decent way to make the contrast more evident, and plus the 64 Godzilla like is somewhat my personal default Showa Godzilla in a way.
You are so based for that choice.
It's either 64 Godzilla or Meguro Goji. Those are the two I kind of like. If he's going to be a little bit more like villainous or like kind of more of an anti-hero as opposed to his full-fledged heroic antics, I kind of lean to 64 Goji. But yeah, no, if it's like purely heroic, I tend to lean to Meguro Goji for that. Though I do have a soft spot for 68. That one I have a soft spot for.
Frog.
Kaiju X, stop line 67's your favorite.
I like 67, so joke's on you.
I thought you liked
55's your close
69.
second.
What was that, Joe?
I thought you'd like 69.
Yeah, he said he has a soft spot for it.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
yeah.
have a soft spot for 69. Anyway, looks like you're done. Yeah, no, any additional thoughts, Bacon? Anything else?
This was the only match I read.
So you and Joe have something in common.
Let's go.
We really are drift compatible.
I mean, I was thinking about Headmasters, and Joe sent me a toy of Headmasters, so we're
Nice.
siblings.
Yeah.
Nice.
It was based.
That's pretty epic.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah.
See, Pacific Rim? Joe and I could have solved that shit in 5 minutes if we were the main characters.
Anyway, but bringing yeah, oh yeah, circle back around to Gray Shot, who was like, Gray Shot, please go over the details in regards to the narration, since you usually have a lot bigger hand with that when it comes to like any sort of additional narration. So I'll leave that one up to you before I read the text from GVR and the comments. So
I'll also give my thoughts to the match.
Yes,
But no, I thought Harley did a really good, if not fantastic job with this one. This one really harkens back to Mothra versus Destroya, I would say, where you get an air of tragedy. You know this is not going to have a happy outcome. That one was relatively short too. It just had just really set the atmosphere, and I think this one does something very similar. This one feels like if I kind of it's having this and then the next match. This one feels like if Godzilla got to choose his end, whereas the next one would be if he didn't. It's both. It's weird that both. Again, I take it for the forms. It's weird that the two matches like this happen back to back, but I think they are in a ways polar opposites. Also, in regards to the gorgeous banner by you, Kaiju X, very colorful, very much setting of the verses between an aged Godzilla and Anguirus. The only thing I would say is if in regards to which Godzilla you chose for minion designs, I would have. I'm surprised you didn't choose the one. Was it 67?
Oh yeah,
because that.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
That one I know was based on Manila. I know the design for Godzilla and Son of Godzilla was actually supposed to be the more adult Manila. I did get that, but to me, an adult Manila always felt like he was always going to be much more of a hero, personally. So, and I think I get more vibes. in terms of like biological practicality, yeah, Musako Goji probably would have been the 67 one probably would have been better. But I always got more of like, this is a new protector to take the place of his father. And I always envisioned that being far more heroic like the Meguro Goji. So that's just kind of what I went with.
I mean, it's really, really good regardless. But yeah, both cases, no, the match itself was really good. And that's why I'm very happy going to the narration that it worked out. So yes, when Obsidious versus the Visitor came out, that was a test run because, fun fact, we got new narrator. Double fun fact, she is an AI. Well, I was actually surprised no one called me out on it earlier because I chose specifically Alicia because I was like, what name can I find with the most A's and I's in it? And I'm like, here we go.
The name. Oh my lord! I'm only now just seeing that.
It is literally AI. But I mean, yeah. But I did that as a test run, mainly because I think I knew this match was coming up. I think that I was like, this one would. I thought Alicia would work very well for this match. Regardless, the moment I got this match, I was like, yeah, Alicia would definitely work, and I am glad to the quality of the narration that was able to go along with this match.
I always thought I don't need to cut you off, but like real quick, it was I always thought something was just a tiny bit off when it came to Alicia, but I never once you said it was an AI, I'm like, oh, I think I can hear it now. Oh wow! So it's like, but yeah, no, the fact that I didn't catch it at first, I think is a kind of testament to its quality. So I'm not complaining.
Yeah, and I wanted to. The original test for her was going to be 414, but she couldn't handle the harsh those turns. I mentioned those earlier turns. She couldn't handle them. So it was Alicia is one that likes to stay on the highway. She can't take a hard U-turn.
No kidding.
So that is why 414 ultimately didn't have her narration, but Obsidious vs. the Visitor did, and that is why I think she works so well with this match, is because in regards to Harley, Harley sets everything up. You get a nice transition, like everything is so smooth, detailed that that the narration is able to bring an extra shine to the match. Whereas I feel that if it would have been 414 as the test, and then this, I don't think you would have. It would not have been the case. So if you see Alicia will still Matt's still doing narrations, but Alicia is going to be primarily for more action-oriented matches. If you hear a narration from Alicia, it's going to be more action-focused, and with a much more, maybe not focused perspective, but it without without those hard transitions.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's pretty much everything I can think of for the narration. The only other thing I'll have to say is honestly, Kaiju X, I don't think you should beat yourself up for Veron. I think he looks pretty good to perch to top that distant corner. I don't think he's in the match all that much at all. I think he's referenced.
They're just memeing. It's like, oh, why you have Veron, the stinky one, not the epic Stars? No, they're just memeing. I'm happy with where Veron is placement wise. It was a good place to put him. So I was like, oh, heck yeah. Yeah, no. My only fear at the time was Rodan covering Veron, though I'm sure Joe could look at that in hindsight. It's like, crap, should have covered more of Veron. But yeah.
No. I think for Joe, she made a good call. Rodan's placed really well. Comically enough, I think it's the same Rodan as in 416. Because I looked at it, I think it's just the same Rodan, just a different angle.
I think it is. Yeah, that's hilarious.
Yeah, it's just like he's standing for Rodan instead of swooping as he is.
That is funny.
But yeah, no. Otherwise, for 415, yeah, easily one of the matches of the year, I think, in regard, or at least if not if not like in the top 5, then like maybe top 3.
Yeah, it'll be curious.
Easily.
It'll be curious to see how this one stacks up. Like when with the really warm, positive reception this one got. I really do hope that it's like see where it kind of goes for in the awards. I am very curious on that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, 100%.
So, looking forward to that wholesale.
Oh, did you also mention is this the first match with the Universal for Inquirers?
I think so. Yeah. I believe it is. I believe. Yeah. Let me look at Angers's previous match.
Because that was also not maybe there was an announcement or a change. But I think this was the first one where it's like you could now.
Because Anguirus was. Yeah, no, because I think it was very shortly after, because we had the multimedia match which we went over last time. The audio drama. He was Showa in that, and then very shortly after became Universal. So yeah, no, 415 is the first Universal Anguirus match. This was the first time it's going to be formalized, though it's going to be a while before we get to see Millennium Anguirus action. Maybe. We'll see.
Yeah. No, very cool.
Mm-hmm. So yeah. Yeah. I think I'm trying to think of and again, just going back to the banner real quick. Took a while I think the foreground foliage was probably looking the most profitable. But yeah, no, everything else just kind of like I kept the monsters relative to the monsters that appeared in the actual story, just to keep the two lined up. I don't need to overfill it, though. I guess Gorosaurus could have gone in the spot where Kumonga is, because that area is admittedly just a little bare. Maybe a Gorosaurus would have been handy there. Oh well. I was so committed to trying keeping it to what Harley wrote. I was just like, yeah, bro. But yeah, no, all around though, really happy with 415, just how that one turned out. I'm gonna read over the comments real quick. First from our departed GBR. He's not actually dead, he's just not here now. Excellent match, love the emotional weight to it. Godzilla growing old isn't something we rarely ever see thought of, given how he's either immortal or dies fast. But this match brings that interesting concept to life and uses it very well. In regards to the comments over here, Godzilla fan 8889 says, short but somber match. I really like how simple it is, yet tells so much. If Showa Godzilla had to die, this would be a really fitting death for him, given how he's more heroic than most of the other Goji incarnations. But yeah, no, plus, and then checking over here, Maguma says, damn, Gorosaurus was another victim of AIDS-laced chili dogs, rip. But he also says, yes, the King's last days. A piece of me wants to say the fight could have gone on a tad longer, but it does its job and does it well. But yeah, no, I think with all that said, I think we could probably... I don't think we have anything else to say, and unless Harley decides to jump in at the last second, I think we could go on to match 415 to the unintended counter. I don't want to call it a counterpart, but they do share a lot of similarities. This one, yeah, match 416 unintentionally shares a lot of similarities to the previous match. It is sort of weird that the scheduling just kind of worked out that way, because we do have like some things planned like decently ahead of time, and then other things are sort of like some things don't work out, so we have to put a match in its place or something like that. And this just kind of turned out like that. Yeah, no, match 416, Anguirus Universal versus Mechagodzilla Showa, round 2, as a matter of fact. Written by Tyler Treeshock, who we have over here, and Matt Ing, banner by Tyler Treeshock with Matthew, narration from Matthew Reeves. So yeah, I think we're gonna probably I mean this one's probably gonna be a little bit more brisk, but just to make sure we have our coverages. Alex, did you read this one? He's off. I know Joe didn't read it, because again she had said 415 was the only one she read. So
it's a good one of the bunch, so it's not
Yeah.
So yeah,
She made a good choice.
yeah. But yeah, yeah, no, I guess that's gonna have to leave it to me then. Yeah, no, like I said, it does serve as a weird, unintentional, like, parallel to the 415, even though, again, not intended at all. It just sort of turned out that way. But I do, what you had said earlier in regards to how, like, the death of Showa Godzilla is sort of like an interesting way to phrase it. It's like one version is the one where he chooses his death, and what more fitting way than to die by your first opponent, your best friend, versus this, which is far more like going out the, like, I would say kind of going out in the blazes of glory kind of thing. Not even glory, but it's still kind of like he goes to face death head on sort of thing, I feel. I really enjoyed the story of it. I was really intrigued to see, like, when you had told me that was sort of like, oh yeah, no, like Mechagodzilla this, Mechagodzilla that. What a general way to state it, but yeah, no, I do like the, like, I don't think the human part caught me as much. For, like, it wasn't bad by any right, and it is sort of like, I'm curious to see where this goes. It doesn't, like, I don't think it quite had my attention, but the monster side of it, I think, more than picked up for that, personally. Again, I'm still looking forward to Tsukiyomi's sort of like evolution. It's like we get a bit of him at the beginning and the end of this one, but the focus of it is, like, you know, the Angular stuff. And yeah, no, that was kind of like really cool that it's like we get to see him just going back to the grave of his lost loved ones from this, like, kind of like weirdly unspoken war that I think for the first time is given any kind of detail here, because I believe in your series it's like Showa Godzilla just kind of dies after Terror Mechagodzilla, and appropriately enough from Mechagodzilla, which I feel like is a proper, an appropriate final opponent for him, personally. But yeah, no, I kind of like the way this is, like, I wasn't expecting it to be like an all flashback sequence, but at the same time, it did kind of make sense for the, like, obviously circling back around to the first match of the series, you know, obviously recalling Gabara at the time and whatnot. But, yeah, friggin', yeah, no, I still really enjoy Anguirus' rather somber story. And I was kind of expecting, like, I didn't quite know what to expect. I wasn't quite expecting, like, like, I was not quite expecting for them to, like, I was expecting some kind of, like, modern day rematch, but I'm kind of glad it's all set in the past because it feels sensible to be there. It's like, oh yeah, no, they were all taken care of a long time ago, and Anguirus more or less defeated what I would consider the leader of the bunch. My only real nitpick, and the only reason I didn't change it, was because of the banner. My only nitpick is that Black Mechagodzilla has silver eyes. Gosh darn it! Oh lordy! But I didn't want to pester you with such a small, minute detail. So I was like, oh, especially considering that I think I was like, oh wait, no, I'd forgotten another detail already. So I was like, I don't bother with that. But nevertheless, though, it was nice to see Black Mechagodzilla in action as well. Get his chance to shine. So yeah, no, I just really enjoy, like, the kaiju, like, more of the kaiju angle of this one. And again, not that the human angle is bad, but I don't like it. It is interesting to see sort of like something similar to the prophecy thing from Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla, appropriately enough, kind of like shine up with the, you know, the future that is to come. So it's like, yeah, it's definitely setting itself up for that, which is good. So it's just, yeah, no, it's just, again, monster stuff is super on point. Really enjoyed it. So, but yeah, no, I'm curious to see where the next entry goes. So, Reptile did not realize Black Mechagodzilla's in this. He will now read it. All right, we're getting a reading live. Oh, GBR's back. Hooray.
Yeah. Hello.
All right.
GPR.
Greetings.
All right, I'll look over your comment word for word to make sure you speak your opinion correctly.
Dang.
But all right, yeah, no, yeah, Alex currently isn't quite here, and then Joe didn't read it. So yeah, Joe. Oh yeah, and the banner though. I want to say the banner, really cool banner. It's sort of. I was about to say that triangle shape does look familiar. And I think we had an early draft of whatchamacallit, Godzilla Ultima's debut. I think that was going to be shaped similarly to this, but I think that wound up like taking a different direction, if I remember right. So it's kind of neat to see that back, just speaking purely from the developmental perspective. I still really do like the the way it's all like you get Anguirus, you get Mechagodzilla, and then you get like everyone else, the army of Mechagodzillas. It's a nice eye catcher, so I like it. It's kind of like it got that dark grayscale sort of merciless vibe to it as well. Really enjoy it. So just stands there.
Menacingly.
But yeah. GVR, what'd you think of 416 now that you're back?
Didn't you say you were going to read my thoughts to make sure I was true to my word, even though I think I know my own word? But yeah, no, I really enjoyed this match. Thought it was a very good entry in this ongoing saga. Especially liked. My brain's a bit fuzzy at the moment.
Are you sure you don't want to read your comment?
No? Okay. I really like this match. Pretty good. I love how it's sort of like a capstone to the Showa series within this greater context of like a world where all of the movies happen. I like the story going on here. I did think that like the story going on in Okinawa was a bit weird to go along with this, but like I didn't mind it.
I mean, to be fair, I guess it has to go somewhere, you know.
Yeah, that's the thing, and like it's a interesting enough story to where I don't mind it, and I just see it as more so serving the overall storyline.
Yeah.
Like maybe it's a bit off here, but like if you were to like once this arc is like fully out and you read it all in one go, like it'll make a lot more sense.
Yeah, absolutely.
But anyway, yeah, I really loved Anguirus here. Loved the combat. I loved how Anguirus was characterized. I love how like it's a whole army of Mechagodzillas, and like you're not seeing the full battle. You're just getting like snippets of it in the background. Which is how it's like it's focused on Anguirus, but like you can tell that there's a lot going on around him.
Yeah.
Yeah. This very easily could have been a Mechagodzilla Showa versus everyone.
Yeah.
It wasn't just this one slice. Which again was a focus of mine, because in this case you're just seeing Anguirus' perspective, so he doesn't he wouldn't know what's happening to all the other monsters. So you're kind of in the dark with him as to what's going on.
Yeah.
Like you know, like you know shit's going down, but you don't know what exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I dig that because that's a very unique perspective for KWC. I feel like KWCs there's often this mindset of like we have to show everything that's happening. But no, this just gives you like a snippet of what's going on in a whole war zone.
Yeah.
Another thing I really liked was the Orochi stuff. The start and at the end. Very ominous. Loved it. The banner is rad. I love that banner so much.
Yeah, getting all the bits into there, like all the different layers, was a pain. And this wasn't even this is actually not the banner this was the banner I found. I couldn't find the final one. This was the second one because originally there wasn't a Gamora wasn't in this one, but I originally was like it was just like the normal back, like it didn't have that white sheen in the back, but I couldn't find the other one. I'm like, oh, well then, this one will do, I guess.
Yeah, the last thing I'll say is that I really liked Anguirus learning how to do the Thunderball mid-fight. That was pretty neat.
Mm-hmm.
Right, that'll do it for me.
All right, sweet. Read the comments then. Before Gray Shot, kind of goes into greater detail with this one, as we usually do. Bacon says, rad as hell banner. Godzilla fan is inclined to agree. Says, agreed, that is an awesome banner. Joe says, that banner fucks. Godzilla dies in terror of Mechagodzilla. Getting killed by Mechagodzilla. Fire, right? uh, Godzilla fan continues with another baller, great installment in the Gray Shot series. I like how all of it is set up. The characterization for both teams of Kaiju was really well done. I especially like the segment with Gamora at the end when you realize what tragic events happened. It just stands out to me. And on the YouTube side, King Little Caesar says, kind of like the time we got 3 Mechagodzilla Showa matches in a row around the time when Heisei Moto was retired before Millennium debut. Oh yeah, that was intentional. Baguma says, admittedly, I need to reread this one to really encapsulate my thoughts, but I really remember liking what I read. Probably my favorite banner from Gray Shot 2. So, hey, nice. But yeah, no. And I think with all that said, Gray Shot. Like, what details do you think you can also expunge about the match and what have you? So
I guess for this one, the first thing I'll say is I'm glad everyone's enjoying the banner. Yeah, this one I had an original draft. It wasn't great. I redid it, and I'm glad I did because it added a lot. It added a lot more depth and detail to it, which I think worked out in the end. I'm also happy with how it turned out with having having that design where we originally had it with the Godzilla Ultima match, but I was able to implement it here because while this match, I think this match really deserved it or needed it, because if you just had Anguirus with all the other monsters, then people would be very much like, oh, so they're all fighting, but wait, why aren't they in the match?
Right.
So having that split and having, the list of monsters in the background that are there, but it
conveys the implication.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, really fun banner to make. Glad with how it turned out. I guess really quick to the narration. I thought Matt did a great job on this one. His Orochi, I would highly recommend checking out the final 5 minutes of the narration just to hear his laugh. That is all I have to say about that. I thought he did it. I thought he turned in a great performance. There is an audio issue where, comically enough, he actually filmed half this at my studio, or not studio, but setup. He came to visit. He came to visit me in Austin, and I was like, "Oh, hey, yeah, you could just record if you're here if you want." He's like, "Wow, He stayed here for a week, so he ended up getting half of it done, and then he left, and then he recorded the other half at his spot. So you notice a brief moment where it switches. That's why.
Okay.
So yeah, fun behind the scenes. Also behind the scenes, I guess, for the narration, I got surprised by a trip, which is why this did not release on the 28th with the match. Originally, it was supposed to release, but I was away for a week, so I did not have access to my computer until until I got back, and then by then it was way too close. I couldn't send it to Anthony in time, so it just had to be delayed a few days. So that's why there was a few day delay.
I remember the TK update. I was just like, oh yeah, no, also added audio thing. I was like, huh, it's a little weird. Why did that one come late?
Yeah, I like having the matches unless it's unless it's a match that's already out. If it's if it's a match that's well out, it's gonna the audio update can come at any time. But yeah, if there's a new KWC coming out, I try to make sure that the matches come with the audio.
Yeah.
It was just a case. Yeah, it was just a case of surprise vacation for my 30th birthday. Oh, I'm not. Oh God. I mean, I enjoyed the vacation, but I was not. Yeah, one downside.
Right.
Yeah. Otherwise, I guess in the match itself, I am quite pleased with how this turned out. This is definitely an Anguirus focused match, and I'm glad to see all the positive reaction on the forums, though I do find it funny the amount of people that were like, if I had a nickel every time Anguirus was in a match where Godzilla Showa died. So I guess this is the nickel duology. I don't know. But yeah, no, this was definitely the three focuses being with Anguirus. I really wanted to make this an Anguirus centric match. That's most of my matches now are going to be focused on one character's perspective, for a segment. And this one, I wanted it to be Anguirus. I wanted I wanted Anguirus to also. The other thing I like to try is to have a monster change or something through the match. That's why when you see Gamora in this, you had his introduction in the last part, which that was him like him and Osakai. That was their match basically. Is they're setting them up with a little bit of Gabra in there. This one is definitely Anguirus, Tatsunari, a little bit of Hina, and you have a variety of characters like Gamora as well. Yeah, a little bit of him as too. And for this one, I want to show how he evolved, but also get to the core of what does Anguirus mean to other monsters, which is he's just stubborn. That's the core trait of Anguirus. That was the main thing I wanted to pass along in this. But otherwise, yeah, the Orochi part, I am glad people are well responded to that, because yeah, it's a case of, I kind of thought about it and I was like, if this dragon just showed up and was in human form, he would kind of not know what he could do. So I wanted him to be like figuring out like what his body can do and having him like testing it by just ripping, like he's been in pain for tens of thousands of years, just in sheer agony. It's like, do you guys know the writer of Chainsaw Man? Like his past works?
I think I heard about one of them. It was like it wasn't something involving fire, like a fire dude.
Yeah, the guy. I never read the series, but I know the gist of it is like like Fire Punch, which is basically a guy that has like Wolverine powers and then gets hit with flames that never go out, and is like for years just in absolute anguish.
Yeah.
That's how I kind of figured Tsukuyomi would be. It would just be like, he could rip out a finger and not flinch because he's been probably in an unbearable anguish, being frozen like in sheer cold in a human body for millennia. So him like testing out what he can do, figuring it out, that's an aspect I wanted to play with in this. And I didn't think that was a method that's been done, so that was also fun. And then, yeah, for the human perspective, I wanted this. Yeah, this is definitely the start of the series in regards to Tatsunari will be, a character that does come back, but it is kind of setting up the prophecy, which is for this, arc. What you could. All the different pieces are within that, and stuff will play out. You could probably guess the next match, but yeah, that was a little fun nod, and yeah, it will make. If you read through the whole thing and go back, you will see stuff. You will see things will make more sense, or you will see stuff that you'll be like, "Oh, I didn't think about that back then, but now I see what it was."
Oh yeah.
So, but yeah, otherwise, very fun installment to write. Glad it could. I think I submitted this like a year and a half, 2 years ago. So glad it could be posted to the site.
Something like that. So, but yeah, what's my thought? But yeah, no, I think that's it. I think we probably said what we need to say in regards to 416, and now we can go on to the last KDBC of the session, not KDBCD. We got 2 of those to go over. Gosh darn it. But yeah, no. For match 416, we migrate on to match 417. Gigan Universal versus Cyber Godzilla and C-Rex versus Gigan Reiwa. Written by Joshua Stripmatter and banner from Matthew Williams. Yeah, no. Ooh, boy. All right, this one. Ooh, boy, this one. Let's see here. Well, since you're already here, great shot. What'd you think of it?
This one I haven't read fully. I think I've gotten through the first quarter or so, but I have not read it to its completion yet, to be honest.
Okay.
Bruh.
But yeah, I mean...
I sorry to cut you off. I almost forgot one last thing, which is major shout out to Matt Ing for helping out with the last match.
Okay.
Because he worked on the first. He pretty much laid the groundwork for the first Anguirus versus Mechagodzilla fight. So he laid the foundation there, which like a T. I think the description is like I saw in the forums like a T. He set up like the T800. So like Black Mechagodzilla could be the T1000.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
so yeah. Thanks, Matt.
Okay, right. No, I moved something. Shoot. So, yeah, no, that's technically not the first match we got from Matt, but I think it was the first one that, like, first match of him involved that got posted. So.
Yeah.
All right. Sweet. Yeah, no, glad you caught that.
But yeah, I was gonna say, at least for this match for the banner, it is. I don't think it blends all that well. Like, if all these were in a style, I could see it, but I know the Reiwa Gigan footage is there isn't that much like other than what's from
from the short. Yeah.
The short, yeah. So I don't think it all blends together well. The poses and action work, but I don't think it. I think the blending is just needed like a little bit more, you know? Not a bad banner, just one where I can spot the flaws easier than others.
Yeah, there's a lot going on, and there's a lot of like different styles of thing here because there's a 3D model, there's a figure, there's 3D models from a YouTube thing, and then there's there's a lot going on.
Right. And I kind of like and very blatantly like the figure C-Rex versus like even like the environment. Like I don't know. I personally never had the biggest issue with that. That's just a me thing though. So you know, it's like, and yeah, no, don't get me wrong. I know the Miles and Rexes are currently a little limited in terms of like the banner stuff we can use for them. Currently, hopefully over the years we'll, you know, maybe more 3D models, more sculptures, and more stuff that can allow for different kind of posing for this kind of stuff. But yeah, no, it's like all we really have right now is just the actual short at the moment, and any sort of like behind the scenes footage that we have. But yeah, no, very good. Like any other like additional thoughts about that support set, even from what you have read, if you could at least give your thoughts on that. Great shot.
Oh,
I just thought it was good so far, but I don't have enough to say like for a full review.
Okay. All right, fair enough. In that case, then GBR.
I mean, it is.
Oh, wait.
It is. I was just gonna say it is Josh strip matter, so it's not gonna be like it's not gonna be badly written.
Right. But GBR then. What'd you think of 417?
I really enjoyed the fun. For those unaware, this is a sequel match to Cyber Godzilla versus Gigan Millennium, which was like the early 100s.
That was so it was like a million years ago.
Yeah, the before times.
The before times.
And yeah, I think this does a really good job of following that one up, and just is overall a very solid match. Has some really good action in it. Uses all of its combatants very well, especially Showa Gigan. Like, he's awesome in here. It is kind of weird how like he went from Millennium to Showa when usually it's Showa to Millennium, but I mean that's fine.
I think that's fine too. I kind of like the mix up of like a weird sort of like pseudo like downgrade kind of thing. It still works well, so I don't have a problem with it.
Yeah, and yeah, the Reiwa Gigans used very well. All the Miles, I think it's Miles. I don't know how it's pronounced.
Miles?
I think it's Miles.
I don't know how to pronounce Latin.
Miles Morales. Anyway, yeah, the Gigan Miles are awesome. So is Gigan Rex. Probably the highlight of the match is when Gigan Rex finally shows up. And I also really dig like the character of Gigan here as well. Mm-hmm. He's sufficiently petty and spiteful.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, banner. I really like it. Looking at it, I do agree with Great Shot that like the blending could have been a bit better, but I think it's fine enough. Mm-hmm. I'm going to talk a little bit about the process of adding Reiwa Gigan, because there wasn't really much of a process.
Well, yeah, but
it was almost as fast as Monster vs. Mechagodzilla in terms of debut to being added.
Right.
within like staff. We waited a bit to like reveal it to the public, but like almost immediately, like it was a few days.
Oh, right.
We just like internally confirmed, yeah, we're adding him because he's cool.
Oh yeah, no, he was rad. He was just way...
Well, more accurately, we're adding him because he's a very unique. He has a lot of like unique stuff to him, and not just because he's cool, but just because like we don't have like a combatant with his capabilities.
Yeah, there's nothing like he takes a certain niche that no one else has quite filled yet, and it's another guy. So why the heck not?
Yeah, for a bit of a peek behind the curtain, you can't just be cool to get on the roster. You have to be able to like fill a certain niche or be able to bring something new to the table.
Yeah.
That's why we're probably not adding -1 Godzilla, even though he's real cool, because it's just gonna be.
You could have a.
It's just gonna be G54, but with a laser instead of smoke.
Right. Yeah, I know. It's like as much as I would love that, like everyone's Godzilla or whatever. It's still kind of like there is a certain like principle we adhere to, and it's just sort of like what we just kind of focus more on niches, and then sort of like what's best suited for the roster and how it can complement other members of the roster. And simplicity, and again, I also iterate that simplicity is never a bad thing in my opinion. The frigging...
And Gojira brings up a good point of what niche does Final Worsador fill. He would not. He doesn't. The thing is that like we were able to universalize him into Showa.
Yeah.
So that sort of gets him in, because with the universalization, that sort of is like a shortcut.
Yeah, it's very much a unique shortcut of getting certain versions of monsters in. So it's like, yeah, like before we would have never like considered adding Showa King Ghidorah by himself, but because of because we were in the very lucky set of circumstances where Heisei King Ghidorah and Mecha King Ghidorah were brought in separately, it did justify a position to universalize Showa with Heisei. So it's like we were in that very fortunate and very unique set of circumstances that allowed that to happen. So it's like I don't mind taking full advantage of certain shortcuts if they're available to us, but as far as like actively adding them go, that's another story. So
yeah. Oh, and another positive thing about the match. Great shot. Do you mind if I spoil it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I love that Gigan Rex is not like he's acting on his own. Like he's not under alien control. Like he just is acting on his own.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's a very unique take. Because the default assumption would, of course, be that, like, oh, with Gigan, he's under like the Nebulans or the Exilians or something. Like, no, in this match, he is like this spacefaring thing that just does what he wants.
Yeah, no, that's. I think that keeps it true to form to the original too. That's just like, oh yeah, no, spacefaring thing that just does whatever. Him and Griffin should be partners.
That would require someone to write a match with Griffin.
Oh, that is unfortunate.
I have a plan for it, but I have so many plans.
Yep, that's pretty much my case too. I have plans for him too, but I got so many plans.
Please, if you're watching this, write a Griffin match. Send it in.
And make sure it's good.
We'll take par. We'll take on par.
My favorite part of the second Griffin match when he says it's Griffining time and Griffined all over the place.
Oh my gosh. Oh. He literally did Griffin all over the place, didn't he?
Joe, did you read this one?
No,
she didn't.
Okay.
She only read 415. That was the only one.
Okay. Oh, cool. That's a good choice.
You missed the epic reveal.
Yeah, no. Well, everyone missed the. Well, oh yeah, no, that's right. But the actual podcast, you'll have to listen to that one.
You read one time, and I'm not there.
It's a break. Oh my gosh. Oh yeah, figured which we call it. Yeah, 417. Let's see, GBR went. Alex, I think Alex is still muted, if I'm not mistaken. She is, Joe didn't read it. So yeah, that leaves it to me. And yeah, no, this was a rockin' match. I think funny enough, Strip Matter, oh, that brilliant bastard. I think he had preemptively, if I remember correctly, I think he had preemptively written this after watching the short and was like, okay, if they confirm it, I'm gonna send it, and if they don't, KWCE. It was like that was a very smart play from that man to just like, I'm gonna write the guy with the I want to write because no matter what, he wins either way because it still gets posted.
Yeah.
So that's a brilliant use of taking advantage of us. Brilliant. uh, but yeah, no, freaking whatchamacallit it? Oh man. Nevertheless, though, freaking yeah, no, this was just a great match, beginning and end. A wonderful expansion of 414. I kind of love it when a sequel to a super old KWC match gets a sequel. And again, I am also a big fan of sort of like the weird reverse upgrade. Like I don't want to call it a downgrade because that just sounds insulting. But it is sort of interesting to see Millennium going to show up. But still, yeah, no, it's still like a really nice change of pace. It's almost like taking off armor to fix him up. And it's like, ooh, that's kind of rad. Like, you know,
The original version of the match before I edited it did call it an upgrade, but I did change that just because, like,
okay, yeah.
I get the idea, but it's like, no,
Yeah,
for the KWC's purposes, he is a.
Like, it is still kind of a weird, like, yeah, no, I get you, though. It is still, the Millennium one is meant to be somewhat...
You're allowed to think that Showa Gaigen is better than Millennium, but you're not allowed to call it an upgrade when it's literally
when it's like
less technology.
right. So it's like, it kind of making that change makes sense. It's a minor change. So it's just like, yeah, no, he just got modified a bit to, you know, for easier repairs or whatever. Either way, it's still an interesting decision, and I do like that. I do like that it's like kind of different that way. But freaking. But yeah, no, nevertheless, though, it was still like a blast to read beginning to end. And I think for me, it really picks up once Gaigen Rex enters the picture. Holy moly, that guy had me glued to my seat the entire time. And you know, I love the resolution too. That was great. That was sort of like the way the two kind of come to terms was really cool. So if there is ever a follow-up to this, I am very curious to see like what comes of it. And again, I do agree that it's like I'm actually really happy that the Reiwa Geigens do operate just more on their own. They're just things that are out there. We don't know anything about them, which is completely true in context of the original short because we don't know anything about them other than they're spacefaring arseholes that are here to kill us, I think. But yeah, no, this was just a wonderful, wonderful time. Like, I personally had a blast with it. I personally like the banner from Soul. It's got a lot of fire effects and whatnot going. I look at it now and I'm like, there could be like some improvements here and there. Maybe there's some blending that, like, I think the coloration of the monsters are fine, but I think there could have been more smoke to shroud the environment in. Now looking at it, that could have like sold more of the maybe could have sold the blending better. I think that's where it kind of faults for me. I've never been like, I'm always just like use the assets that are available because obviously not everyone's going to be equal to, like, you can't just make all 3D of every single character when some characters just don't have those assets. So it's like, I don't mind at all that they're like these different styled things. That's never bothered me, but I can see some improvements that could have maybe made it work a little better looking at it now. But it's like, oh well, I had already improved it a bit, so oh well, I'd say that one's more on me than Soul. But yeah, no, nevertheless, no, this was just, again, for Gaigen Rex and the Miles, fantastic. Wonderful debut for a new monster. And yeah, no, this one was just like a suit, like almost days, and it was just like, we're adding it. And the fact that it took this long shows how long it takes to get some things out sometimes. So a little bit of a bruh. Sorry for people who wait. And I'm only just now realizing Ultima's been out for a year and a half now, and that kind of scares me.
But we still don't have a match where he's actually Ultima.
That too. That's the funnier part. Yeah, we got him in, but he was only his first 3 forms. Where's the real? It was like, oh no. Mad funny. Nevertheless, though, gonna like.
I'll read the Discord comments.
Okay, yeah, you read Discord, and I'll read yeah.
Okay, Godzilla fan 889 says this was a really awesome debut for Gigan Rex and Miles. I like how it builds off of a much earlier and simpler match by majorly expanding upon it. OG Gigan's revenge arc was pretty well done, but what I truly didn't expect was Gigan Rex's characterization as a seasoned warrior who eventually comes to respect Gigan. C-Rex was kind of fodder, but other than that, this was sick. C-Rex is always fodder.
He said it is.
Okay, and after a very long, very stupid conversation, KWC Discord server moment. Kaiju Fan Forever says, a splendid match and introduction to Rex and Miles Morales. I adore the personality of both Gigan and how Sho got his revenge on Cyber Godzilla. The Leviathan F-bomb was great, especially considering how stoked they are. Really like the ending as well.
Yeah, no, that was actually one of my, like, that was a gag I kind of liked. There was just, like, a sudden cut to the Leviathan, so, like, that was actually kind of funny. So, yeah, no, that was probably one of my favorite little gags there.
All right, you may read the YouTube chat, and then we may move on to the KWCE, unless you have other things to talk about.
Right. Let me see. Yeah, King Little Caesar says, yeah, I had a lot of fun making this banner. Probably could have just stylized it a bit more. Whoops. Yeah. The audio's cutting a little? Really? Uh-oh. That's, I mean...
You're skipping a bit, but it's fine.
Oh. Okay.
I think it's good.
Okay. All right. But yeah, no, Maguma says... the Attack of the Clones, plus Soviet Gigan as their leader. This is pretty good, with my only critique being that I do wish C-Rex did a little bit more. But it does follow up 414 well while bringing in the newbies. Hell yeah. Let's go. But yeah, no. Yeah, not too much activity in the YouTube stream of things this time. But yeah, no, it's just wonderful that we are able to cap off with the new mobster, and there will be more stuff to come. So, anyway,
What is wrong with you? What is wrong with you?
What's wrong with being excited?
The answer will not surprise you.
But yeah, no, I think with that said, admittedly, I did get a little sidetracked, and again, I had not anticipated another TWC, so hang up.
Yeah, great.
Yeah, I know. So I'll just give me a minute to get the other, thankfully, Bacon Beta banner. So that makes getting this in here a lot easier. But however, we will be migrating over to the TWC now. So GVR, if you may, I'd like for you to take over for this. And believe it or not, I actually read one of them. This is not one,
but not the one we're going to do first.
Not the one we're going to do first. So.
All right. Season control, KWCE 102.
The real 102. You ignore what we said earlier.
More like 102.
Yes. Redman versus Reddits. Written by Fat Bacon Unicorn. And banner also by Fat Bacon Unicorn. All right.
Wait, who's Birdman fighting?
Hey.
Great shot. I'm going to assume you did not read this one.
That is a correct assumption.
I know Joe didn't read it. I know Kaiju X didn't read it. So, I'm going to start as I wait for Bacon to get in here. He is currently playing Mortal Kombat 1, I would assume.
Probably.
So I've sent him a DM. All right. I really liked this match. It's pretty good. It's an older match. It's real short and simple. But it's fun. Dragon Ball matches are always cool.
No! I'm an idiot!
Yes, you are. What is it?
I actually read this one!
Okay. Well, I'm the leader now, so you're gonna go after I go.
Yeah, no, I blanked. Wow, it's been too long. It's been way too long. Okay, wow.
Okay.
Okay. Well, yeah, no, I don't know why. It just, I think just because the whole 102 thing, it just vanished from the, just vanished. Like, it was not even on my mind. I was like, bruh. I was so concerned with 101 that we had apparently already gone over months ago. Oh my gosh. I can actually give some thoughts on this one. Holy crap. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Back to what you were
It's
saying.
a pretty fun match. Pretty good. I like the action here. It uses Redman and Raditz very well. I will go ahead and say that I did see people sort of confused because it's like Raditz being able to control Uzaru was weird. And yes, actually, I remember when Bacon was writing this, he like contacted me, was asking about that and all that. And in supplementary material like video games and stuff that shows Raditz as an Uzaru, he cannot control it.
Okay.
So that is why I suggested that Bacon include the line about how Nappa and Vegeta had trained Raditz to be able to control it.
Okay. Okay.
Because I figured it's like this, Raditz can't control it like in canon, but it's not too big of a leap to say he could learn to control it because it's just a thing you can do.
Yeah.
That's right. And that that makes sense. Maybe if Gohan could do it, then Raditz could be trained. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. It was just a case of following the of either like official canon or supplementary material related to it. Raditz just isn't able to control his grade 8. Which, I mean,
To be fair, Toriyama doesn't go by official canon, so like
you know what? I hardly disagree with that. But yeah, did you have any additional thoughts, GBR?
Nope.
All right. Yeah, no. As a man who is now thankfully sparked by my own memory of my own comment, which I made on here, which thank goodness I did, and then, also reading it over, it's like, oh yeah, I did read this. So that means 2 KWCEs I've actually read. Hooray! Before you get up, no, this one, yeah, looking at it now, it was like, I think I had fun with this one just by virtue of the sort of like strange absurdity of like, Red Band and the Dragon Ball world. But I think there was just something like oddly satisfying. Not Gridman. Say Gridman. Redman. It's also just me. Why do I keep wanting to call it
Redman. It's not Gridman. This doesn't take place in a computer.
Man.
Red man.
Kaiju X being fucking sexist, making all men look the same.
God damn.
Whoa, man. But yeah, no, Redman, there's just something about Redman dropping into anime worlds just to wreck their shit. I remember this in Ava 01, Redman versus Ava 01. It was like, oh yeah. I was like, it's so weird. Just like, you just drop them in there, and it's just like, you work now, and I don't know why. It could just be the over-the-top powers. It could just be the, more over-the-top powers in this case, more visual imagery in the case of the Ava one. But freaking, yeah, no, it's just something about, you just drop him in this situation, and he just rolls with it. And it was just like, I'm gonna fight you, monkey man. And yeah, no, it was also just decent. It was also just kind of nice to give Raditz some time to shine. That was kind of cool. Because obviously of all things, Raditz, it's like, oh, you expect Vegeta, Nappa, Goku, Gohan, all the other famous ones, but it's like Raditz is a bit of an unexpected use of the Uzaru, but I don't mind that. I think that's kind of a nice. It's an interesting situation to throw him in. It's like, oh, what if Redman fought Raditz here on Earth when he first arrived? That's pretty cool. So, yeah, no, it was still kind of like a very brisk, straightforward match. A lot of the actual fighting, aside from Double Sunday, I was get a weird joy out of Double Sunday, but nevertheless, though, I do like the no, I still enjoyed the match. It was nice, brisk, but it did it tickled something in me that I just kind of really enjoyed when I read it. But apparently, I didn't enjoy it enough to remember it up until this very moment. I can't believe it. How could I do this? Oh my gosh. But yeah, no. Still really fun short little bout. Just it was cool. It's cool to see sort of like these weird, unusual mix-ups between the tokusatsu stuff and Dragon Ball. So it's like, hey, let's go. Oh, but yeah, no, fun match. That's really all I could say. It was like an enjoyable, comparatively little spar. But yeah, okay. Those were my thoughts. Those and the banner, fun banner. Obviously very different sort of styles going on there, but hey, again, at least it leans more into the anime-ish look of it. So it's like, okay, it doesn't yeah, no, it's still like weird, but it works. So Dragon Ball do be like that. Oh wait, no, is that right? It's 2D or 3D? I can't tell.
It's 3D. It's a Budokai Tenkaichi 3 mod.
Okay. I thought it was 2D. Wow, I was like, wait.
No, I think it is 2D.
No.
Is it?
Is it? No, I think it might be 3D.
Yeah, it's a 2D render. It's a render. It's 2D.
Yeah, it's a 3D render. It's gotta be.
Oh. Okay. Well, none of us could tell what it is, so I guess it does its job. But anyway.
Guess it's me, the writer.
Yeah.
I do not remember why I did this match. I'm gonna be straightforward with you. I do not recall why I did this. I think I was just bored and I went, I'm writing too many big matches. Do something very small. Something very, very small for fun. I don't know what to say about this match. Material.
Apparently, you don't know what to say about it the same way I forgot it was even there.
Hey guys, let me know when you're doing Redman vs. Reddit so I can come in and talk about it.
Yeah, so I thought that I would remember. No, I didn't. However, it did start cooking ideas, so there is that. I guess the most I could say on it is I had fun writing it, I remember. And I remember liking how playing with Redman's powers. And I mean, yeah, Raditz kind of needs love. Guy is the main character's brother and nothing happens.
Akira Toriyama says what?
Akira Toriyama moment.
Yeah.
But yeah, that not much to say. The banner, however, yeah, that one was kind of weird to make, just because I had to find this Uzaru Raditz, then wanted a Dragon Ball environment, but Redman kind of live action. It still works, just not one of my favorites, I guess.
Right. I mean, you'll figure something. Like I said, you could take the gray shot approach where there's a certain filter you overlay over everything that doesn't match the aesthetic to make it more uniform. There is very much that technique, but it's still yeah, I get you. It's the live action is sort of sticks out. Raditz, I say, if we can't tell whether that Raditz is 2D or 3D, and I think that is actually a decent testament to the environment he set in. If that is a 2D Raditz, I am impressed. If that is a 3D Raditz, I am also impressed, because he actually looks somewhat natural to the environment around him, which looks like a 2D thing. But it's if that's a 3D thing, then I was oh, you can't really tell with him. But yeah, Redman kind of sticks out more. But me personally, I don't really mind it, because I totally get it. It's just, especially when it's for fun. which is especially the case in TWCE territory. It's like most banners are like, for fun, like forego the idea of like a purely sort of live action-ish aesthetic. It is for fun, without question.
Yeah, the KDCE has much looser rules because like the banners aren't necessary, so it's literally just for fun.
Yeah. So it's just a case of whatever. It's like it's awesome that
Like
it's
with
here.
the next match, you're not going to be able to find a 3D model of Alair Ghidorah.
Right. Right. So it's like, yep, nope, that can't be helped. That cannot be helped. But yeah.
But yeah, that's all I got. Actually, I noticed something on the banner, and I'm mad about it.
Oh.
If you look like at the rocks that are covered in red, the cracks are going off the rocks.
I just noticed that. Yeah, no, I noticed that like 3 minutes ago before you pointed it out. I was like, oh,
Like, motherfucker.
Those cracks are going off the rock. Don't worry, the ground beneath it is perfectly like that. It's an illusion, right? There's the rock edge, and then and then there's just a crack in that area that links the two together, even though it's not actually there. I'm kidding, I know it's there.
God damn it. Now it really is a nothing match for me. I didn't remember the match, and now I won't remember the banner. But yeah, that's all I got.
Okay. All right, GV,
You go read Kaiju Fan Forever's comment.
Okay. Yeah, sure. Where is it?
I got it.
Okay, you got it.
Yeah. It was really fun KWCE. I recall reading this on DA, and it's really good. Nice way of joining the two universes and the ending where Redman noted to go. You're referring to Vegeta and Nappa. Yes, he is.
Mm-hmm.
Whether Bacon will write that sequel, I don't know. Since
Again, that like this, like the Red Band one happened somewhat like impromptu. It was just like, write something smaller. I was like, okay. So we see how that turned out. That was fun.
yeah.
And on the YouTube comment side, Maguba says, oh yeah, this one too. I do like how the Saiyans were responsible for the death of the other red men and women, but admittedly, I think the action could have been better done.
Yeah.
So.
All right. I think that'll do it for this one.
Yep. So that means we go on to the actual, like, most recent KWCE as of now. Alair Ghidorah versus Maruko Bukarappa. Kararappa. Oh yeah.
Yes, Parappa the Rapper.
Parappa the Rapper. That's what we'll call
That's easier to say. But yes, Alair Ghidorah versus Maruka Bukarappa, written by Ultimate Ditto, with the banner that you're probably now seeing by Godzilla Fan 8889.
Yay!
Yeah. I will go ahead and start, since I know that only me and Kaiju X have read this one.
Right.
All right. I thought this one was pretty fun. There's not a lot going on. It's a very short and simple match. As Ditto said, it was made in 2020. But it's pretty fun. For those unaware, Alair Ghidorah is from like a campaign, like a PSA campain for like pollen allergies. Just
Something like that.
So the people know how to be safe. I'm gonna look it up as I type.
Yeah, no, he's from.
I tried to say type and talk at the same time.
Talk.
Yeah, Japanese pollen allergy awareness campaign featuring Godzilla and related monsters, and he's in the KWCE because we just decided to.
Right.
It was funny.
Yeah, no, I think funny enough because I think before he had, I can't remember if this was before or around the time he had dropped Titano Goji 16. Crystal Salibert had contacted me. It's like, hey, why would we not save this Alair Ghidorah as a surprise little like wacky inclusion? It's just like, I can't remember the results. I just remember him being disappointed when he had already been made public. So it's like, the idea came to mind, and I am open to like much weirder inclusion, like especially when I was in charge of the KWCE at the time. Like I was more open to like the weirder, sort of like stranger inclusions, and it just took a while for Alair Ghidorah's match to actually come up. So it's like, yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, yes. It was a pretty fun match. It makes good usage of Alergadora because it's a very odd creature, given how it fights with pollen
Yeah.
and making people sneeze a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a fun, like, that is sort of like a fun, like, thing to do. It's like, oh, yeah, no, there's this simple, yeah, no, very simple move, but, I'll let you continue, TBR.
Yeah. Maruko. I'm just gonna start calling him Maruko. Maruko is used well as well. He only uses punching and pecking with his beak, but it's fun. The only thing I can really say, is that like the final move Alergadora does, which Ditto says is just a spirit bomb.
All right.
I remember approving that because he asked me like, could he have Alergadora pretty much make like a gigantic pollen bomb and say that it's like the thing he uses to traverse worlds because he's a Ghidorah.
Right.
And I said, yeah, that should be fine.
Right.
Yeah. The KWCE is not outright fan fiction in the sense that you can do whatever you want, but like we're a lot looser with the rules.
Yeah. As long as you adhere to like just the most bare basics of like what the characters are, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, like you can't just have them whip a new power out of their ass, but you can like
as long as it builds
be creative. You can be real weird with it.
Yeah, as long as it builds within like your like power set. That like if Maruko Kurappa, Maruko the rapper, like started like busting out eye lasers, probably would have had a problem. But
yeah, that would be too far. But like the pollen thing makes a big pollen, that's fine.
Yeah, because it's all connected to pollen.
Yeah, because what you need to understand is that Alergadora isn't even like in a comic.
Right?
Like he's on posters.
Right. Match funny.
Yeah. Kedrix, I give it to you.
Yes. Yeah, no, as far as the match goes, it's pretty simple and straightforward. It's not like super remarkable. But at the same, like Ditto had said, it was like 2020 or something. So I was like, yeah, it definitely reads like a.
Yeah, the quote Ditto real quick. He says, "This was made in 2020, probably when I was grabbing random combatants from the roster and trying to pump out as much matches as I could, which left a lot of them being rough. Poor Joe more or less had to verify them all." To which Joe replied, "I know I read it, but I remember nothing about it." To which Ditto just said, "Good." All right, Kedrix, you now have the talking stick.
All right, yeah, I had to talk sick, but yeah, no, it's like no, I really enjoyed the match, and if anything, like I am happy that like Maruko gets a little bit of love. I do like it's like you like him getting the attention, and Alergador. It only just like recently occurred to me that Alergador is like Allergidora, and I was like, oh my gosh, I didn't realize the joke. I was like, why is he called Aller? What does Aller represent? Allergies. So
I ruined it because I pronounce it Ghidorah, not Ghidorah.
Hey, you're fine. No one cares. But yeah, no, it's a super like not the most memorable thing. Yeah, this one's probably also going to disappear from my brain by tonight. Much like what happened to the poor Red Man match. Rip. But yeah, it was just like, yeah, I literally just like, oh yeah, I need to get to a TDCE today. 103, let's go. Read that.
Except you thought it was 102.
Except I thought it was 102 because it was listed as 102. It is still pretty funny though. Holy crap. But yeah, it was just super simple, straightforward match. Like it's definitely not perfect by any right. Probably could have used some tightening up, or like some yeah, just some better tightening up. But yeah, I had fun with it. So it's like, hey, I'm just glad Maruko Kurappa gets a match because Gamma Monster and Scrap Monster, you took two of my loves and you put them together into a monster that has no powers.
Wasn't Maruko's purpose to just like die to Gara Sharp?
I think so. Or it was either to like die to Gara Sharp or something like that. I don't know.
Like, isn't he just Dutalios for Gamera?
I think so. Yeah. But you know what? I love Dutalios too. So
Okay, someone write Dutalios versus Maruko.
Yes. Oh my gosh. But yeah, no. And did we have anyone else? Let's see. Did you read this?
Kaiju and Purpose says this is a very unique matchup, short, sweet, and to the point fight between an allergy mascot that somehow is a member of the Ghidorah race and a goofy monster that got replaced by Gara Sharp. Not really much to say, though. I do want to write a match with the Deeds too. Also, I think a banner was made with more serious and frightening versions of these two. There was. Let me pull that up.
Oh, really? Oh.
Yeah. Well, yeah, just like Godzilla Fan 889 made like a joke banner with like art of them.
Okay. Then, yeah, let me read the comments over on,
Is it as good as when Garoran fought Gazora and it was Garoran like murdering Gazora? Like Gazora was just like exploding.
Oh, Godzilla Fan 889 also left a comment.
Okay.
Sorry, there's been so many things.
All right.
This was a fun little scrap. I was reading for. I'm going to try to pronounce this as he typed it. Also, Godzilla Fan 889, as I struggle with this, can you please post your secondary banner?
Okay, gotcha.
I was rooting for Maruka Iki Wujudik because he's silly, but the match was still cool. Side note, but hard to believe, El Ghidorah is, well, a Ghidorah. Lamau, he looks so different. He really does.
Yeah, no, he looks super different. Again, allergy. That's the whole reason he's a Ghidorah. That's it. That's
yeah, I found it.
Okay, sweet.
Yeah, it's done with art, and it has them like on the corpses of like Destroya and Iris.
Okay, right. Yeah, hang on. Let me try and get this in here real quick. Yeah, hang on. Yeah, there is sort of like a kind of radish looking bit of fan art. I'm like,
no, that was the last match.
Oh yeah, no, this is the last match.
No, you said radish.
What?
Raditz.
Oh gosh darn it! You took me there for a spin for a second.
That was pretty good.
That's all Akira Toriyama's names. They're all jokes.
Yeah, that's what I love. How, like, in the chat, Gojira brought up Frieza's brother, and Joe was like, "Is his brother's name Melton?" I went, "No, his name's Cooler." And Joe laughed at that, even though that's real.
Right. No, every single Dragon
because it's
Ball...
funny. It's funny, and it being real is even funnier.
Yeah.
I still remember your reaction to granola.
Yeah,
Granola and gas.
yeah. Oh, that's funny. That is so funny.
You should look up the. I listened to the Team 4-Star guys, and apparently all the movie villains they kept digging more and more random fruit because they, again, there's like 5 or so lackeys that just die, right? But they all have names. So they just they're constantly churning through like new, like more varied fruit puns as they get further into those Dragon Ball movies.
Yeah, because every Saiyan is named after a vegetable. Every Saiyan's name is a vegetable pun.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Rad alternate, like, because I think this art was made by someone else, completely unrelated. So it's sort of weird that it's like, oh yeah, there's this more dignified, serious artwork.
Yeah, the fan art credits is a very long Japanese name and Eros art.
Yeah. So like, what the heck? Why does that kind of go hard? I don't know why.
Well, yeah, it's just like art of them that goes really cool, and then Godzilla Fan 889 put them in the Shin Godzilla background.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I see it now. Yeah, no, it looks nice because actually using the artwork of them does, like, again, I don't really complain too much when the style's different, but when the style is consistent, it does look nice. So.
Yeah, because we took the fan art from those two, and then
mashed them together.
Put the corpses of Gamera, Godzilla, Destroya, Iris.
Yeah. Mad funny.
He says, yeah, the intent was to make an overly epic banner for this.
Yeah. That's funny. That is funny.
Because, yeah, it's the lamest Ghidorah fighting a mushroom. Like, imagine being a Lurgadora. All of your brothers and cousins destroy worlds and end civilizations in Hellfire. You just make everyone's day very unpleasant for a while.
Yeah, until you have to leave, which then they just get better.
Yeah, like, it's
Yeah, but do
pollen.
fedoras get royalties when they sell allergy medication? That's the question. I don't think they do. See, all the other Ghidorahs are in space. They have cold homes, right? They've got nothing. Ghidorah's got a mansion.
Oh yeah, he's
Probably.
racketeering. I see.
Well, I mean, he got all those advertising deals, right? Like he's the least powerful, but the most wealthy.
Very wise. But, Maguma says in the YouTube comments, living pollen versus the monster whose name is too long. Yeah, ain't that true? Oh, lordy. Oh, but yeah. Oh, this was fun, though. This was pretty fun. For you. Do we have anything else to say in regards to this match? Or just not. Not really.
No. It's a little over 2,000 words. It's mostly tooth and claw. Seeing an entire city get flattened by a big grain of pollen is funny.
Yeah, it kind of is. Oh, crap. But yeah, I think that was kind of like roughly it, though. For yeah, no, that's kind of our final like KBC catch up. Which hey, we did in about 2-ish hours. Nice. That's actually awesome.
Yeah.
We actually got through it in decently paced time. So I'll probably see you guys in the next couple months. I don't know, maybe I don't know when we're gonna do next KWCC.
Before the end of time, we will do another KWCC.
I mean, that's a guarantee. Like that's easy.
I mean, we could all die before then.
That is true. Like 80 years old, 50 years old, 20 years old. Wait.
No, I just mean like we all die suddenly in like a freak accident, like an asteroid hits the country or something.
Oh yeah, probably. So.
Russia flips the keyboard or the table.
Right. But yeah, freaking what we call it. Yeah, no. Nevertheless, though, I don't know. I think we don't have any real announcements to make for the KWC at this time. It's just kind of like, it's just kind of waiting through. No mid-year survey because I personally feel a lot more. Not to say that I don't value the input of others, but I always have far.
No, we hate your input. It's bad.
Well, yeah, it's just as GVR said at the beginning of the podcast. I hate everyone.
No, we value y'all's opinions. We just didn't feel like doing a mid-year survey. Probably next year we will.
I personally,
and there will be a survey at the end of the year, of course.
Well, yeah, end of the year, absolutely. I think it's always important to at least hear out the people's opinions. But I think I always feel a little more confident with the direction that we take. So to me, I don't necessarily. It's not that sometimes if it happens to be mid-year, it's a good time to ask. Sure. This time we just didn't need it. And maybe we'll do it. I don't anticipate doing another mid-year survey unless it's like, okay, I actually need input from you guys. What do you guys think about this?
Yeah, this year's been real slow.
Yeah. So it's
and that's been on purpose because every single member of the staff has been feeling a bit of burnout. So it's just like take things slowly.
Mm-hmm.
Don't introduce too much.
Oh, right. Yeah, no, we already have enough on our plates as it is when it comes to some future term projects that need our commitment right now. So it's like, yeah, it was probably for the best to just take it easy and not inquire. But if there is absolutely something important, heck, I don't even think I had to wait mid-year for that. I'd probably just do that month of. It's like, hey, let's ask this at the beginning of a month. So it's like that's just kind of the way I personally roll. But I do at least try to keep want to keep an eye out for any sort of yearly stuff too. It's like because it's always good to have some kind of regular contact with the outside world just to see how things are. But to make up for that, the mid-year stuff I do think is good announcement time. So it's like any sort of announcements that they are, we make them then. So.
So I mean, yeah, if you guys are having a slow year, then there's no point if you don't have anything to post. It's like, yeah, but yeah, I mean, end of the year, you have the awards. You've got things change and movies come out. How many series have we had this year?
Right?
So many.
Yeah, right. Like,
So, but yeah. No. Oh yeah, and there's one more question. I'm gonna leave this in the podcast. Just for a certain viewer of ours, Strip Matter. Let me see. Here it is from Kaiju Fan Forever. He asks Strip Matter. Also, to the author of this match, is it alright if I use this plot for Wait.
No, that was him responding. That was him asking for about more, not Strip Matter.
Oh. That was a completely different match. What the frick? Okay, never mind.
Yeah, no, I took care of that already. Oh my gosh, Kaiju X.
Apparently, I don't listen, so ignore that. I thought that was for Strip Matter, but I think we were just talking about 417 at the time it was asked. So it did. So I just mixed the two together. Bruh. Oh my gosh. But yeah, no. Otherwise, though, yeah, no new announcements, and yeah, no, probably no like mid-year surveys, unless we absolutely need them. Otherwise, I'm more of like, I don't mind waiting for like everything to be like condensed into the end of the year stuff personally, but things can change. I'm getting a little bit of like, yeah, no, for as long as I've been on the KWC, like leadership wise, it's like, oh yeah, no, remember to do this, remember to do that, blah blah blah. Or do you need to do this? Do you need to do that? Blah blah blah. So I usually feel pretty confident with a lot of the directions that we've been taking. It's just a matter of just very confident with the overall direction. That is all. Nevertheless,
yeah,
though,
as long as you guys aren't suffering burnout and not burning things down, woo!
yeah.
Yeah.
So, hooray! I say lighting the torch anyway. Nevertheless, though, this has been this month's KWCC, and I think we will be seeing all you guys. Hopefully next time we do one of these. It was really nice to. This felt like a nice, even coverage of like enough both enough time between the last one and this one, while not being an overwhelming task to get through. My favorite kind. Hooray!
Yes, one of my favorite sayings.
But yeah, no, it's like really hoping hopefully we'll see what comes next time. So
The only thing I will say before we close out is that since we're talking about, like the future and like the end of the year stuff and all that, next year, big things.
Hey. Oh yeah. So, nevertheless,
And with that, we bid adieu.
we bid you all adieu. Till then, folks, see you guys next time.